I may have bitten off more than I can chew. I may be a little insane. I think the debate whether I am a mood reader or a planner is definitely going to be resolved. I am not a mood reader. Hello, welcome to my channel. Another bibliophile reads. And why it is still spring, I want to talk about some of my summer reading plans and beyond. I have a number of books planned out that I want to read. All of these are open to group reads or buddy reads, and some of them already have some people participating in them. So without much ado, let me tell you about some of the books that I will be reading. This list does not include anything for horror mayhem, maybe Midrash, if that event actually happens, Rocket Summer, June on the Range, or GarbAugust. So if you think that I have a lot of books to read on this list, it's actually a bit longer than what I'm showing you now. For May, with Allan at Big Hard Books and Classics, we will be reading another roadside attraction by Tom Robbins. Tom Robbins is one of Allan's favorite authors. I have not read anything about or by Tom Robbins yet, and this is apparently about the corpse of a figure that may or may not be Jesus Christ. Also in May, I am kicking off a new project for myself. Last week, or was it 2 weeks ago, I made a video about 6 obscure books that few people have been reading. And it got a lot of views and a lot of comments and a lot of people sort of unhappy that I have not actually read these obscure books. So I'm going to start a project where every month I'm going to try to read an obscure book. How this is going to be defined, I'm not quite sure yet. I'm sure it's going to be under 500 ratings on Goodreads or even less. But one of the books I'm going to start with is Mortal Gods by Johnathan. And I'm picking this because it's going to be a short science fiction novel, and Johnathan Fast is the son of Howard Fast, a was rather famous author in the United States. Then in June, one of the events that's going to be kicking off is the Summer of Steinbeck. Right now, there is Allan at Big Hard Books and Classics, Pat at Book Chat with Pat, and Randy Ray, the Literate Texan. And there are some other people joining in Steinbeck Summer. However, I have chosen 2 books. Some of the other people participating in Steinbeck Summer may choose different Steinbeck books, so keep on the lookout for what other people have been reading. And the first one I want to read is The Grapes of Wrath. Actually, I have read The Grapes of Wrath before, but one of the reasons I wanted to reread it is because there's always this argument. Is Grapes of Wrath Steinbeck's best novel, or is East of Eden Steinbeck's best novel? I personally prefer Grapes of Wrath, but many people prefer East of Eden. So this summer, starting in June, I am going to be rereading The Grapes of Wrath. Also in June, for my obscure book project, I am going to be reading The Age of Longing by Arthur Koeslter. Arthur Koeslter is more famously known for his truly great novel, Darkness at Noon, but this is one of his lesser-known books about liberal people in post-war Paris. So I'm really excited about picking up this one and seeing if it's any good. Also in June, I am going to be starting a solo project. This is my reread of Fathers and Crows by William Vollmann, a novel that he wrote in the early 90s. This is a 900-page plus historical novel about the encounters of the Jesuits and the Iroquois Indians in Canada. It is indeed an epic, mammoth novel. Vollmann, I think, is one of America's underappreciated authors. He really needs more attention because the scope of this novel is vast, and it is an important novel about how Europeans treated Native Americans. And another project that I'm going to be doing between June and July is The Dream Songs by John Berryman. This is a collection of poems. Allan at Big Hard Books and Classics, Pat at Book Chat with Pat, and Flossy at the Great Jelly Library have all committed to be reading the Dream Songs. We are going to be doing it between June and July. Depending on how things go, we may extend it into August. Then in July, I will be continuing with the Summer of Steinbeck project and reading East of Eden. So at the end of July, I will make my determination which of these two novels is Steinbeck's best. Starting in August, there is going to be another poetry book reading. This is the Cantos of Ezra Pound. I will be doing this with Allan at Big Hard Books and Classics and Aaron Facer. I have to admit, this book intimidates the hell out of me. It's going to be very dense and very intellectual, and I'm kind of worried that it's going to be a little above my head. And while we're starting this in August, it's going to go all the way through to December. So this huge book of poetry, which is 821 pages long. We will have some time to read it and decipher it. My only question is 6 months long enough to read a book this long and this complex? Going into September, I have a project for a reread. I think Allan is going to be joining me. This is J.R. by William Gaddis. It won the National Book Award, I believe, in 1975. This is 770 pages of mostly unattributed dialogue. It is a satire on American business. There are no chapter breaks in this book. If there is a change of scene, you just have to recognize it in the next paragraph. Usually what he does, because it's unattributed dialogue, you'll see a prose passage, which sort of indicates a change of scene. That's not always the case, unless my memory fails me, but I absolutely love this novel. It is totally hilarious, but you really have to be paying attention when you read it, and it is definitely not going to be everyone's cup of tea. In October, Thomas Pynchon is publishing a new book. It's been like 10, maybe 12 years since he published his last book, The Bleeding Edge. And this one is sort of a mystery thriller set in the 30s, I believe. It is called Shadow Ticket. It's only about 330 pages long, so it's not a huge book, but Allan really wants to start reading it in October when it is first published. We will be joined by Jim Reed's Too Slow. In November is another new project that I am starting with some other folks. This is the John Irving project, because John Irving is going to be publishing a new novel, Queen Esther, in November. But this new novel is strongly linked to one of his previous novels, Cider House Rules. So we are going to be rereading, or at least I am going to be rereading Cider House Rules in November. Allan and Pat at Book Chat with Pat will be joining us. I think a few other people may want to join us for this John Irving project. Because, as I said, coming in December, we will be reading his new novel, Queen Esther. There is some talk about eventually getting around to rereading, or for me, rereading A Prayer for Owen Meany. That has not been completely confirmed, but if our project of reading Cider House Rules and Queen Esther goes really well, why not move on to A Prayer for Owen Meany, and maybe then some more John Irving books. And December of 2026. I know that's a long time away, but there is talk about reading Gravity's Rainbow by Thomas Pynchon. I read Against the Day by Thomas Pynchon in December of 2024 through January of 2025. It was an interesting book. I don't think Against the Day was his best book. I think his best book is probably Gravity's Rainbow. So I am going to be reading this beginning in January. Depending on what we think, it may be a January, February sort of read. Stay tuned. And again, that is open to anyone who wants to join in as a group read. In fact, as I've already stated, all these books can be buddy reads or group reads. One last book that Allan wants to read in 2025 is Scarlover by Harry Crews. I know Allan really appreciates the novels of Harry Crews. I have read a few, and he's a rather curious and strange author. This book is not on any schedule as of now. It is not a huge book. It is 283 pages long. So who knows? Maybe I will squeeze it in with Allan sometime in 2025, or maybe it'll be a read for 2026. So those are some of my reading plans for the rest of this year and going into January of next year. Yeah, it's a little crazy. It's a lot. But I'm looking forward to reading or rereading all of these books. If you want to join in a group read or a buddy read, leave a comment in this video, or join me on Voxer at GEEMONT235, or join my Discord channel. Thank you for watching, and keep on reading.